Nothing happened today, so why can't I stand up? Nothing happened today. The bread is on the counter, my keys are in the cup. Nothing happened today, so why can't I stand up? I bought coffee at 8:10 from the place beside the station. The barista drew a crooked leaf and asked about my weekend. I said quiet mostly. She said sometimes that is best. The lid clicked into place, the morning carried on from there. A man held the lift for me. We talked about the heating. He pressed 7, I pressed 9, and watched the numbers change. Nothing happened in the meeting. The projector worked at last. I answered 14 emails, moved one deadline to next week. Nothing happened today, so why can't I stand up? Nothing happened today. My shoes are by the doorway, the lights are coming up. Nothing happened today, so why can't I stand up? At lunch I bought a sandwich, chicken, lettuce, nothing strange. A woman dropped a teaspoon in the room, looked up then changed. I read half an article about a town I'll never see, then closed it when the screen asked if I'd like to subscribe. At 4:36 my manager said good work on the numbers. I smiled and said no problem. Put the papers in a pile, the printer jammed at 4:50. I pulled one warm page free, there was toner on my finger. I rubbed it on my jeans, the bus was 6 minutes late, but there were empty seats upstairs. A child counted yellow cars, his mother fixed his hood. I watched the florist bank repair shop pass as they should. Nothing followed me from work, nothing happened on the way. Coffee cup, office lift, paper jam, evening shift. Small things done, small things said. Nothing heavy in my head. I stopped to buy some bread and milk that had 2 days left. The cashier asked for loyalty. I found the car behind my license. A jar fell somewhere in the shop, glass scattered near the wine. An employee brought a yellow sign and told us all it's fine outside. The air was ordinary, not too cold and not too wet. A dog pulled toward a lamppost while its owner checked the text. The crossing changed on time. A cyclist thanked the van. I walked the final corner with the groceries in my hand. The key turned like it always does. The hall light came on late. I placed the bread upon the counter, left the shopping by the chair. The room was unchanged, cup beside the drying rack, a towel over one chair, a letter by the mat. Nothing happened today, so why can't I stand up? Nothing happened today. The milk is getting warmer, the freezer won't shut up. Nothing happened today, so why can't I stand up? I sat down just for 1 minute on the carpet by the sofa, still holding one bag handle, pressed in red across my palm. The heating clicked behind me, the upstairs neighbor crossed the floor. A delivery bike stopped outside and started up once more. I told myself, put the milk away. The sentence sounded clear, my legs understood the language, but they did not volunteer. I counted to 5 slowly, then counted 5 again. The plastic bag leaned sideways and an orange rolled beneath the bench. There was no terrible phone call, no envelope with news, no sentence in the office that could explain what I could not do. No fight inside the supermarket, no stranger being cruel. The day had left no single mark. I could circle as the rule. Maybe it was every small I'm fine, stacked neatly through the day. Every time I moved, a feeling so somebody else almost too dramatic, like I'm writing after the fact. Maybe bodies sometimes stop without presenting all the maths. Maybe I do not need a reason before I put my hands against the floor. Maybe standing is a question I can answer later on. Bread on counter, milk by chair, keys and cup, coat still there. 5 more seconds, then I move. 5 more seconds, nothing to prove. Nothing happened today, so why couldn't I stand up? Nothing happened today. The bread is on the counter, the milk is in the fridge. Nothing happened today, and that does not make it small. Nothing happened today, no siren and no fall. Nothing happened today, but my body heard it all. I don't need to name it before I let the evening stop. Nothing happened today, and I still couldn't stand up. At 8:03, I found the orange near the shadow of the bench. Its skin was marked but unbroken. I turned it in my hand. The office still existed. The bus route kept its line. Tomorrow had not vanished. The clocks were keeping time. I peeled the orange slowly over a plate beside the sink. The first piece tasted ordinary, sweet and sharp, then gone. Nothing happened today. No answer came at last, just juice along my fingers, and the day becoming past. I took my coat on, like I might still leave. Keys hanging in the lock, bag still on my shoulder, heat filling up the hall. At 7:42 the door closed. The latch caught on the second try. I stood with one hand on the handle, like someone might call me back outside. Hall light took its time, then found the rain marks on my shoes. The heating clicked behind the wall. The flat smelled of laundry soap. I should have hung the coat on the hook beside the mirror. Instead I sat by the radiator with every button at my throat. My bag stayed on my shoulder, the strap cutting through the wool. The key stayed inside the lock, under the hallway bulb. I kept my coat on, like I might still leave, like the room had caught me by mistake. I kept my coat on, like I might still leave, but I could not make my body stand. The shoes stayed tied beneath me, double knots from early in the day. One lace had taken rainwater and darkened near the metal tip. A receipt stuck from my pocket for bread, milk, and washing powder. I pulled it halfway free, then pushed it back again. The radiator warmed my left sleeve, while the right stayed cold by the door. Outside, somebody crossed the landing, plastic bags against their coat. A key scraped twice next door. A child asked if there was cereal. The answer disappeared inside. Coat still buttoned, shoes still tied, keys in the lock, bag at my side. Home all around me, nothing to flee. I kept My phone buzzed inside the bag, beneath a notebook and a charger. I could've reached it if I wanted. I could've done a dozen things. Take the milk from the shop and turn the hallway light off. Move 3 steps toward the kitchen, put the keys inside the bowl. Instead I studied one loose thread near the button at my chest. It curled against the fabric like a question too small to answer. The coat was meant for outside, when bus stops, crowded pavements. Here it made the room temporary, like I had not arrived completely. Maybe leaving is not movement, maybe sometimes it is clothing, a layer kept between the body and the place that calls it home. If I opened all the buttons, would the evening know my name? Would the walls become more certain? Would I have to feel the day? The mirror by the coat hooks held one shoulder and half my face. A person dressed for somewhere else, sitting in an entranceway. No disaster in the reflection, no bruise, no broken thing. Just somebody who came home safely and could not quite come in. Top button, middle 2, cold brass key, still in view. Heat on wool, floor below, door behind me, nowhere to go. At 8:19 the heating stopped and the silence changed its weight. The coat had grown too warm, but taking it off felt like a statement. I moved the bag from one shoulder and set it beside my knee. The strap left a red line across my shoulder. Inside the milk was warming, the bread pressed under a tin. A small box of tablets rattled when I shifted by the wall. I thought about tomorrow morning, how the coat would need to hang straight, how I would button it again and leave as if this had not happened. The keys turned in the lock when my elbow touched the door. That tiny metal sound made the hallway feel observed. I pulled them out at last, held them inside my fist. The teeth left 4 pale marks across the center of my palm. I kept my coat on, like I might still leave, like the room had caught me by mistake. I kept my coat on, like I might still leave, but I could not make my body stand. I kept my coat on like I might still leave, though the last bus passed an hour ago. I kept my coat on like I might still leave, because staying felt too close to knowing. At 8:37 I undid the lowest button near my waist, then the next one in the middle. Not brave, just overheated. The collar opened slowly, cool air touched the skin beneath. Nothing in the room reacted, no alarm, no sudden ease. I slipped one arm out of the sleeve and stopped with the coat behind my back, half inside and half outside, like a photograph taken badly. I almost laughed at how hard cloth had become. Then the laugh turned into breathing, and the breathing carried on. Coat unbuttoned, shoe still tied, keys in my hand, bag at my side. Home all around me, no need to flee. I kept my coat on till the room could hold me. At 8:46 the coat reached the hallway hook. It hung with both sleeves empty, still shaped around my shoulders. I placed the keys inside the bowl, then carried the milk to the kitchen before it warmed beyond saving. The shoes stayed tied a little longer, the bag remained beside the door. I did not suddenly feel better, I only entered one room more behind me. The coat kept hanging, quiet in the yellow light, like proof I had to come home, even if it took all night. The milk went warm while I sat on the floor. One orange rolled under the chair. The freezer kept asking for an answer. and I stayed where the shopping fell. At 7:49 the plastic bag split open near the kitchen door. Bread leaned hard against the tins, 2 apples rolled across the floor. The milk stayed on its side, with the receipt stuck to the seam. A packet of rice pressed into my leg, while the freezer started beeping. I sat down to gather everything. That was the plan at first. One hand still inside the carrier, one knee against the cupboard. The tiles were colder than I expected. Even through my work trousers, I told myself, pick up the milk, then watch the carton gather sweat. The milk went warm while I sat on the floor, cold things waiting by an open door. The milk went warm while I sat on the floor, and I could not tell what I was waiting for. The oranges found separate corners, one beside the washing machine, one beneath the table where the mop had never reached. The receipt curled from the carton, total $28.16. Bread, milk, soap, frozen peas, nothing that could explain me. The freezer alarm kept pulsing, 3 notes, pause, repeat. I knew the drawer was open. I could see the white light leak. Still I counted every warning, like somebody else might come across the kitchen, shut the freezer, and ask what I had done. Plastic handle on my wrist, coat tile under my hand, groceries turning ordinary, while I forgot how to stand. A neighbor ran a vacuum somewhere over my head. The sound crossed one room slowly, then stopped above the bed. A bus sighed at the corner, a bottle rolled inside the bag. The whole building kept completing little jobs I could not have. I pulled the frozen peas toward me. They had softened at the edge. Pressed the packet to my forehead because the cold felt definite. The gesture almost made me laugh. It looked absurd enough. A woman on a kitchen floor using dinner like a cloth. My phone buzzed in my coat pocket, still hanging in the hall. I let it finish ringing and heard no message call. For one strange second I wished it had carried something bad, a reason clean enough to hold a sentence I could understand. The milk went warm while I sat on the floor, cold things waiting by an open door. The milk went warm while I sat on the floor, and I could not tell what I was waiting for. Nothing in the bag had broken, nothing leaked across the tile. The eggs were still protected, the bread would last a while. The problem was not groceries, the problem had no shape. It sat behind my ribs and let the useful minutes waste. Maybe all day I had translated every feeling into tasks. Answer this, remember that, smile when somebody asks. Maybe home removed the language that had carried me till then, and left me with a carton I could not lift again. Freezer, beep, plastic fold, milk turns warm, tiles stay cold. Orange rose stops by the wall, one small thing after it all. At 8:14 I reached for the apple near my shoe, set it on the lowest shelf and brought the second one there too. The movement was so minor, it did not feel like getting up. just one object changing places from the floor into the cupboard. I closed the freezer door, the alarm stopped mid-repeat. The sudden quiet filled the kitchen, larger than the beeping did. I placed the peas beside the ice, the bread above the tins, then found the milk still waiting with warm drops on its skin. I held it to my chest while I pushed against the floor. The carton bent a little at the corner near the bowl. My legs shook once beneath me, then remembered what they do. I stood beside the counter with no victory coming through. The milk went warm while I sat on the floor. Cold things waiting by an open door. The milk went warm while I sat on the floor, and I could not tell what I was waiting for. The milk went warm while I sat on the floor. No emergency, no knock at the door. The milk went warm while I sat on the floor. Sometimes your body stops before it knows what for. At 8:22 the milk reached the middle shelf at last. I checked the date twice, though I had read it in the shop. The carton left a wet ring on the counter near the sink. I wiped it with my sleeve before I had the chance to think. One orange stayed beneath the table. I found it the next day. The receipt remained stuck to the bottom of the bag. By morning all the groceries looked properly put away. Only one soft packet of peas showed how long I stayed. The kitchen kept no record of the wait inside the hour. Just milk cooling in the fridge again. I placed the peas beside the ice, the bread above the tins, then found the milk still waiting with warm drops on its skin. I sat down to gather everything. That was the plan at first. One hand still inside the carrier, one knee against the cupboard. The tiles were colder than I expected, even through my work trousers. I told myself, pick up the milk, then watch the car. I let the tap run because silence was worse. Water hitting stainless steel. I let the tap run because silence was worse and the room needed sound. 8:31, I carried a glass from the table to the sink. The plate behind it had gone cold, the fork still crossed the rim. I turned the tap with 2 fingers, meaning only to rinse the cup. But the water struck the basin and I never picked it up. The glass stayed dry beside my hand, clear and empty. My sleeve touched the silver edge and darkened at the seam. The stream kept falling straight, then broke around the drain. A small white noise inside the kitchen with no name. I let the tap run because silence was worse. Not to wash, not to drink. I let the tap run because silence was worse and I needed less room to think. The sponge had dried into a curve beside the washing up soap. A grain of rice was stuck beneath it from a meal 3 nights ago. The tap made one bright ribbon under the cupboard's amber light. Every drop that left the metal had somewhere else to go. I watched the water gather near the strainer's crooked edge. Tiny crumbs began to turn and circle where the current bent. A tea leaf lifted once, then vanished through the grate. The kitchen gave each useless thing a simple moving fade. Water in the sink, sleeve getting wet. Water in the sink, nothing answered yet. Water in the sink, one sound in the flat. I stood there doing nothing and the water handled that. The heating clicked behind me, then stopped before it warmed. A neighbor shut a cupboard, Somewhere through the wall, the freezer no longer beeped. The groceries had been put away. The milk was cold again, as if the evening could reset. I placed my palm below the stream. The cold arrived at once, it ran between my fingers, then along the inside of my wrist. My body understood water better than it understood rest. Cold meant pull away, pressure meant confess. But I kept my hand beneath it until the skin began to ache. A feeling with a border was a feeling I could take. The sleeve climbed darker toward my elbow, 1 inch, then another. I should have turned the handle. I watched the fabric change its color. The tap covered every sound with one continuous reply. No kindness and no judgment, no reason to ask why. Water does not need a story before it leaves a mark. I let the tap run because silence was worse. Water over metal, water over skin. I let the tap run because silence was worse, and I could not let the quiet back in. At 8:47, the glass was still waiting by the soap. I lifted it at last and held it under the flow. The water struck the bottom and climbed the sides too fast. I watched it reach the rim and spill across my hand. I poured it out immediately, though I had meant to drink. Filled it once, then twice again, and emptied every time. The act became a pattern with no purpose I could name. Fill, overflow, release, then place the glass beneath again. A drop fell from my sleeve and darkened one floor tile, then another joined beside it. I counted 7 circles before the first one thinned. The room had started keeping what the sink could not contain. Turn left, water eye, cold wrist, tired eye, glass full, pour away. 1 more minute, 1 more day. At 9:02 the pipes below answered with another stream. Someone in a different flat was standing at a sink. For a second both taps traveled through the building at one time. 2 strangers moving water behind 2 separate walls. That ordinary fact made the kitchen feel less sealed. Not comfort, not connection, just proof the block was real. I reached toward the handle, the chrome had gone cold. The tap stopped halfway with the cough inside the pipe. 1 last drop formed slowly, then fell without the rest. The silence came back larger, but it held the fridge, my breathing, and the wet sleeve against my skin. I let the tap run because silence was worse, till the water lost its heat. I let the tap run because silence was worse, till the floor was under my feet. I let the tap run because silence was worse, then I turned it off myself. The quiet did not answer, but it stayed where I had left it. I rolled the sleeve above the basin and watched the water leave the cloth. The glass remained beside the soap, still empty, still enough. I wiped the counter with a towel and counted 7 drying marks. At 9:11 I filled the glass and carried it away. Not because I felt thirsty, just because my hand could move behind me. 1 drop gathered at the mouth of the closed tap. It trembled there a moment, then decided to stay back. The flat was quiet again, but not the silence from before. There was water in the pipes, there were neighbors through the wall. I let the tap run because silence was worse. Then I learned the sound could end. One plate cooling, one chair doing nothing. Fork across the rim, microwave light still running. One plate cooling, one chair doing nothing. One plate cooling, and the room keeps getting colder. I made enough for one, still could not make myself begin. One plate cooling, with the fork laid through the middle. At 9:26 the microwave finished with a hollow bell. Rice, peas, and something from a box that promised comfort in 12 minutes. I peeled the film back carefully, steam climbed up and left. The kitchen smelled like pepper, plastic, salt, and tiredness. I chose the blue plate because the white one had a crack. Carried it toward the table, then stood there holding it too long. The chair across from mine was empty, without meaning. No missing person, no old lover, just furniture against the wall. One plate cooling, one chair doing nothing. One plate cooling, and the room keeps getting colder. I made enough for one, still could not make myself begin. One plate cooling, with the fork laid through the middle. I sat down and moved the fork from right to left, then back again. Cut one piece into two, though nothing needed cutting. The microwave clock said 9:29, the 9:30 without warning. The food lost its shine before I learned what I was waiting for. A sauce packet in the bin still had one red corner showing. The cardboard sleeve lay open, with instructions facing up. Stand for 1 minute, printed under serving suggestions. I had followed every step, and still the meal looked wrong. Hot once, cold soon, one plate, one room, fork down, hand still. The food keeps losing what the heat could fill. I lifted one bite halfway, then set it down before my mouth. Not sick, not nauseous, not afraid of how it tasted. The body simply closed a door without explaining where it led. My stomach made one small complaint, then quieted again. The refrigerator clicked behind me. The hallway light remained on. A bus crossed through the curtains and painted orange bars across the floor. I watched them move over the table, across the plate, and off the wall. For 3 seconds the whole kitchen looked like somewhere people lived. One plate cooling, one chair doing nothing. One plate cooling, and the room keeps getting colder. I made enough for one, still could not make myself begin. One plate cooling, with the fork laid through the middle. There are nights when hunger has nothing to do with food, when the body asked for something the cupboards never knew. I opened every packet, measured water, found a bowl, followed small instructions, and still could not complete the role. I did not need a witness, I did not miss a second plate. The empty chair was innocent, it had no story, no weight. I only hated how it waited, pushed beneath the table while I sat in front of dinner, unable to become able. One bite lifted, one bite down. Microwave dark, no one around. Plate warm, then less. Fork through rice, small mess. At 9:48 I stood and carried the plate back to the sink. Not to throw it out, just to change the place it occupied. I scraped one grain from the rim with the side of my thumb, then licked the salt away, because the gesture came before thought. The sink already held a glass and one spoon from the morning. I balanced the plate beside them where the watermarks had dried. For a minute I considered putting all of it in the fridge, covering the food with foil, making tomorrow inherit it. Instead I left it there under the small light by the hood. The peas turned darker, the rice began to hold its shape. A meal can stop being dinner without becoming anything else. It can sit beneath the kitchen bulb and wait beyond its use. One plate cooling, one chair doing nothing. One plate cooling, and the room keeps getting colder. I made enough for one, still could not make myself begin. One plate cooling, with the fork laid through the middle. One plate cooling, no tragedy, no missing name. One plate cooling, while the evening did the same. I don't need to call it sadness, I don't need to force it in. One plate cool, and then tonight I let it be. At 10:07 I filled a glass and drank beside the counter. The water tasted faintly like the metal of the tap. I wrapped the plate at last with foil that would not tear clean. Pressed the edges down and wrote tomorrow on the label. The chair stayed beneath the table, exactly where it had been. The microwave showed 10:09 in green against the dark. I turned the kitchen light off, but the hood bulb stayed on. A small yellow square over the meal I had not touched. By morning the food would look like leftovers from a normal night. Something made then saved, because one person had enough. Only the fork beneath the foil would show how long I sat there. One plate cooling, with the fork laid through the middle. I cried before the shower started, before the water touched the tile. I cried before the shower started, with my clothes still in a pile. At 10:18 the bathroom fan was already chewing air. I had brought a clean white towel and left it folded on the chair. The shower curtain stayed open, the tap was still turned dry. I stood with both hands on the sink and watched my face go by. No steam blurred the mirror, no hot water hit my skin. The room was cold and ordinary, nothing had begun. I took one earring out, then forgot the other side. A black sock clung to my ankle, my shirt stayed buttoned high. I cried before the shower started, before the water made a sound. I cried before the shower started and sat down on the ground. No soap, no steam, no reason, no door left open wide. I cried before the shower started and let the bathroom hold the time. The towel had one blue stripe running straight along the edge. The bath mat curled at one corner where it never lay quite flat. A bottle of cheap shampoo leaned against the wall, its label peeled from months of water, though no drop had fallen. Now I tried to turn the handle, but my hand missed once. Not shaking, not exactly, just arriving too late to move. The chrome held my reflection in a stretched and broken line. My thumb stayed near the red mark that was meant to promise warm. The first tear reached my collar before I knew it had begun. Then another touched the button, disappeared into the cloth. I looked toward the ceiling fan like it might explain the room. It kept turning with the patience of a thing that knew its job. Fan above, towel below, towel folded, water closed. I was already crying before the first drop of the night. signs, a bus that stopped at every stop, a clock that kept good time. My head answered when they asked me, I had smiled at the right moment, held the lift for someone else, kept every small thing moving. Now the bathroom seemed to gather everything, pushed to the side, not as memories or pictures, only pressure behind my eyes. Maybe crying does not always come with something you can tell. Maybe tears are only water finding somewhere else to fall. Maybe the body opens first when the mind keeps every door, and the bathroom floor is honest because it asked for nothing more. I did not need a revelation, I only needed somewhere private where the walls could let me bend. The shower stayed completely silent, the towel stayed clean and dry, and every breath sounded louder as it broke and came back twice. One hand on tile, one knee down, fan keeps turning, no one around. One earring out, one still in, cold floor waiting under skin. At 10:31 I sat with my back against the tub, the rim pressed through my shirt, and grout felt rough beneath my palm. My clothes made the floor look crowded, sleeve, belt, sock, folded knee. I had not taken any off, but nothing felt attached to me. The mirror showed the top of my head and one shoulder near the door, a person reduced to angles by the place where she had lowered. I wiped my face with toilet paper, it tore and stayed along my cheek. The little pieces made me laugh once, then the laugh became a breath. I reached toward the towel, but left it where it was. Clean things looked too formal for the shape the room had made, so I used the cuff of my shirt and pressed it under both my eyes. A dark mark spread through cotton like the first visible reply. I cried before the shower started, before the water made a sound. I cried before the shower started and sat down on the ground. No soap, no steam, no reason, no door left open wide. I cried before the shower started and let the bathroom hold the time. I cried before the shower started, then the crying lost its pace. I cried before the shower started, till the room returned my face. I did not find an answer, I did not need one there. I cried before the shower started and finally touched the air. At 10:46 I reached and turned the handle halfway round. The pipes knocked once behind the wall, then water found the ground. Cold first and slowly warmer, white rush against the top. The sound filled every corner without asking what it was. I stayed seated for 1 minute, listening from the floor, then stood and took my shirt off, left it folded near the door. The towel waited on the chair, the mirror began to cloud and softened what it held. I stepped beneath the water, not healed and not explained, only tight enough to let it move across my face. By the time the room filled with steam, the crying had gone quiet. I cried before the shower started, then let the first visible reply. I cried before the shower started, then let the first visible reply. I cried before the shower started, then let the shower hide it. I cried before the shower started, then let the shower hide it. I cried before the shower started. My body kept the evidence. mind threw every file away. Tight jaw, shaking fingers, reporting on the day. At 11:07 I stood in front of the bathroom mirror, trying to look normal by holding still longer. No bruise along the cheekbone, no fever in the skin, just a line where both my teeth had pressed the mouth within. I opened up my left hand, 4 half moons crossed the palm, marks from nails I never noticed, while pretending to stay calm. Shoulders sat too high, like they had forgotten down, and one small muscle near my eye kept jumping without sound. My body kept the evidence, my mind threw every file away. My body kept the evidence in all the places I said were okay. I don't need a witness, I don't need a case. My body kept the evidence written under my face. There was pressure behind my eyes from hours of looking fine, a dull ache near the temple keeping someone else's time. I rolled my neck once slowly, heard a click beneath the ear, then felt the room come closer, though nothing had come near. My breath stopped near the collar, never reaching to the waist. Short arrivals, quick departures, like it had somewhere else to stay. I counted at my wrist, lost the number after 12. The pulse was not dramatic, only fast enough to make the quiet feel crowded and the mirror rough. I told myself you're tired, but tired did not explain why every muscle stayed prepared for something with no name. Jaw locked, shoulders high, nails and skin dry. Small proof, no display. The body kept what I gave away. I remembered the office lift, the coffee near the station, the manager saying good work, the ordinary conversation. I had nodded through the morning, typed with both hands through the noon. Laughed once near the printer at a joke I can't recall. No one saw the tongue held hard against the back of every tooth. No one saw my knees stay tense beneath the office desk. The body can be screaming and still answer text. Maybe the mind is not a liar, maybe it only clears the scene, moves the furniture of feeling, so the room can stay routine. Puts the fear inside the shoulders, puts the anger in the jaw, puts the grief behind the eyelids where nobody has to know. Maybe memory is physical before it learns a name. A knot below the shoulder blade, a heartbeat out of frame, a hand that will not open after work is done. Open hand, close again, count to 4, miss a 10. Drop the shoulders, lift them back, body talking, mind goes blank. At 11:26 I sat on the edge of the closed bath, feet flat against the tile, both hands resting in my lap. I tried to unclench slowly, one finger at a time. The nails released the skin but left the crescents white. I pressed my tongue behind my teeth and let the lower jaw fall loose. The relief arrived so sharply, it felt almost like a bruise. My shoulders dropped 1 inch, then climbed back without permission. I laughed at the stubbornness of muscle and repetition. There was no single memory waiting underneath the ache, no hidden scene returning, no exact mistake. Only all the times I had said, it's fine, don't worry, I can. Stacked inside the body, past the limits of the plan. My body kept the evidence, my mind threw every file away. My body kept the evidence in all the places I said were okay. I don't need a witness, I don't need a case. My body kept the evidence wrists at the tap, not to cure or shock me, only give the nerves a map. The stream made one clear, feeling move from skin into the bone. Cold here, metal there, a body coming home. I opened both hands wide, I placed them flat beside the sink. Watched the marks grow pink again before they started disappearing. The proof could disappear and still be true. Some evidence is temporary and still explains the cost. I stood there until breathing reached a little lower down. Not calm and not perfect, just enough to change the sound. My body kept the evidence, my mind threw every file away. My body kept the evidence, and all the places I said were okay. I don't need a verdict, I don't need the past replayed. My body kept the evidence, and I let it stay. My body kept the evidence, the jaw, the hands, the breath. My body kept the evidence. When I had nothing left to tell, I stopped calling it strange. At 11:44 I left. The bathroom light turned low. The crescents in my palm had almost nowhere left to show. I placed one hand against my chest and felt the rhythm still uneven. Not danger or disaster, just a body still believing. The hall held my footsteps, the kitchen held one plate. The coat hung by the doorway. Everything looked ordinary, that was never proof of ease. My body kept the evidence long after I had cleared the scene. It's 2:18 and nothing is wrong. Red numbers by the bed. It's 2:18 and nothing is wrong, but my heart has missed a step. The clock says 2:18, bright enough to stain the wall. I lie with both hands open like that proves I'm not afraid. The blanket ends at my waist, my feet are cold beneath the sheet. The window is fully closed. The latch sits flat and still, no footsteps in the hallway, no hand against the door. The heating pipe gives one knock, everything inside the room is where I left it before. It's 2:18 and nothing is wrong. No smoke, no break, no call. It's 2:18 and nothing is wrong. So why is my body waiting for it all? I count the pulse inside my wrist, lose it after 23. Start again with firmer fingers as if pressure makes it true. One beat arrives too early, or maybe I imagine that. The clock changes to 2:19 without asking where I'm at. My mouth is dry from breathing through a throat that will not rest. I take one careful swallow and feel it travel through my chest. The glass beside the lamp has a crescent at the rim. I lift a drink, one mouthful, then hold it without reason. An ambulance passes far away, its siren bends around the block. Blue light never reaches here, the sound does not belong to me. Still my shoulders rise to meet it, then the siren tends to nothing and the room remains the same. Red clock, closed door, two hands, cold floor. No danger, no sign, only 2:18 inside my mind. I sit upright too quickly, and the room tilts half an inch. The wardrobe keeps its shadow, the chair holds yesterday's clothes. A receipt lies on the dresser for milk and paracetamol. Nothing in the little paper says the night should feel this large. I put both feet on carpet, count 5 things that I can see. Lamp, glass, chair, curtain, one black button on my sleeve. 4 things I can touch, cottonwood, the wall, my hair. 3 things I can hear, the pipe, the clock, my breath. The list is meant to ground me, but the body keeps on asking for a danger it can know. a stranger, reading details from a card. It's 2:18 and nothing is wrong. No smoke, no break, no call. It's 2:18 and nothing is wrong. So why is my body waiting for it all? Maybe fear does not need evidence. Maybe it arrives before the case, pulls the chairs into position, turns the quiet toward my face. Maybe every hidden pressure finds the hour with least defense, when the buses have stopped running and the day has lost its sense. I keep looking for the reason, like a pin beneath the sheet. A message I forgot to answer, a sound outside the street. But there is no final object, no mistake behind the door. Only nerves repeating danger to a room that offers none. I do not tell myself to calm down, the sentence feels too sharp. I tell myself you're in the bedroom, then your feet are on the carpet. The clock is only plastic, the red light cannot predict. The distant siren was already leaving when it passed. In for 4, hold for 2, out for 6, again. Red turns 20, then 21. Nothing arrives, nothing has come. At 2:26 I stand and carry the glass into the hall. The hallway light comes on 1 second later than it should. That delay almost catches me. Then the bulb becomes a bulb. The frame print stays crooked. The smoke alarm stays green. In the kitchen I open the freezer just to feel the cold white light touches both my hands and gives the dark a border. A bag of peas, ice tray, bread sealed in a plastic sleeve. All the stupid solid objects make it easier to breathe. I close the door and listen to the motor start again. The flat becomes mechanical instead of full of signs. I lean against the counter and count each slower beat. Not perfect, not consistent, only farther from my teeth. It's 2:18 and nothing is wrong. No smoke, no break, no call. It's 2:18 and nothing was wrong. But the body does not wait for proof at all. It's 2:18 and nothing was wrong. The clock kept moving on. I don't need to solve the hour before I let it become gone. At 2:34 I return, the glass beside the bed. The red clock looks less certain from the doorway than it did. I leave the hallway light on, a thin line under the frame. Not because I think it saves me, because darkness need not when the ambulance is long gone. The building has resumed, the pipe knocks once above me. Someone turns inside a room. I lie down without promising that sleep will come at all. Only one hand on the blanket and 1 foot against the wall. By 2:41 the numbers have become only time again. The body keeps a little distance from the place where fear had been. No emergency was waiting, no hidden news arrived. Just 1 hour passing through me while I stayed here and survived. The hallway felt longer than the whole day. 1 thin line beneath the door. The hallway felt longer than the whole day. And I could not cross the floor. At 2:52 I left the bedroom without turning on the light. The carpet caught my knees, halfway through the narrow hall. A strip of yellow from the kitchen reached beneath the open door. Not bright enough to guide me, just enough to mark the floor. The glass of water stayed behind me on the table by the bed. The fridge kept running in the distance with a low familiar sound. I lowered one cheek to the carpet and let the building hold me down. The hallway felt longer than the whole day. Door to door and wall to wall, the hallway felt longer than the whole day, though it was only 6 steps long. The carpet smelled like dust, warm pipes and washing powder. One loose fiber touched my lip each time I took a breath. A frame print hung above me, crooked since the winter. From the floor it looked enormous, a black tree under snow. I could see the kitchen threshold from the place beside the wall. The light beneath the doorway made every object look divided, half belonging to the night, half waiting for the morning. Thin light, low floor, 6 steps, one door, fridge hum, breath slow. The hallway knows, I told myself to stand, then changed the word to sit, then changed it into nothing, and let the sentence pass. The body had already chosen something closer to the ground, a place where falling had been finished before anyone looked down. The bedroom was behind me, the kitchen was ahead. Neither room was dangerous, neither room required courage. Still, the space between them widened every time I tried to move. A toilet flushed below me. Then the building settled back. For a moment I imagined other people on their carpets, waiting through the same thin hour, and hallways stacked with mine. The hallway felt longer than the whole day. Door to door and wall to wall, the hallway felt longer than the whole day, though it was only 6 steps long. Maybe distance is not measured by the boards beneath the feet. Maybe one small room can drift when the body loses speed. The kitchen light was not salvation, the bedroom was not a trap. They were only 2 familiar places with a hallway in the gap. I did not need to reach them, I did not need to prove that a person on the carpet still remembers how to move. The floor was cold beneath my shoulder, the wall was solid at my back. For once I let the lowest place be somewhere I could stay. Palm on carpet, knee drawn in, yellow line under skin. One breath enters, one breath goes, 6 small steps. The hallway knows. At 3:11 the kitchen light went out without my hand. The timer switch had reached its end, and darkness crossed the gap. The line beneath the doorway narrowed once, then disappeared. The hallway did not become larger, it became less sharp to fear. Without the yellow border there was no place I had to reach. Only carpet, wall and breathing, only time beneath my cheek. My eyes adjusted slowly till the skirting found its shape. A smoke detector blinked green once every little while. Each flash proved to win. The hallway felt longer than the whole day. Door to door and wall to wall, the hallway felt longer than the whole day. Though it was only 6 steps long, the hallway felt longer than the whole day. Till the line beneath the door went dark. I did not cross it, I did not have to. I only let the distance lose its mark. At 3:24 I reached one hand toward the radiator pipe, not to pull myself upright, only feel the metal warmth. The heat had traveled through the building from a boiler somewhere low, a simple thing moving upward without deciding where to go. I pressed my palm against it till the fingers loose and flat. The glass of water weighted the bed, remained behind. Both rooms could keep their places, I could take a little time. When I finally sat upright, the hallway stayed the same. 6 steps to the kitchen, 5 back toward the bed. I moved first toward the water because thirst was easier to name. One hand along the wall, one knee rising from the frame. At 3:31 I drank standing just inside the kitchen. The glass was room temperature and tasted faintly of the tap. I left the overhead light off, let the fridge give what it had. A white square on the tiles, a quiet note at my back. The hallway waited behind me, just a narrow piece of carpet joining 2 parts of the flat. I carried the glass to bed and left the bedroom door ajar. The hallway felt longer than the whole day, then became 6 steps again. Everything was fine again. Cold water, clean shirt, keys beside the door. By morning, everything was fine again. At least from where the hallway could see. At 6:14 the alarm broke the room into a duty. I reached across the blanket and stopped it on the first try. The glass beside the bed was empty, except for one warm mouthful. The hallway doors stayed open, 6 quiet steps beyond my feet. I stood before the mirror with both hands on the sink. The face inside looked swollen, but not enough to call in sick. Cold water over eyelids, 2 palms against the cheeks, a towel pressed beneath them till the skin became discreet. By morning, everything was fine again. Hair tied back and coat done to the chin. By morning, everything was fine again. The body knew the part and stepped into it. The kitchen held the evidence without knowing it was evidence. 1 plate beneath loose foil, 1 orange near the table leg. The shopping bag lay flattened, with its handle stretched and red. A damp sleeve hung by the radiator from the tap I let run. The milk was cold inside the fridge. The softened peas had frozen crooked. I threw away the dinner before I could inspect it. Rice struck the bin in one flat sound. The fork stayed in the foil. I rinsed the plate beneath the tap and watched the sauce leave clean. Plate washed, coat closed, eyes dry, nobody knows. Shoes tied, bus due, morning asked what bodies do. through at 6:37. I buttoned the same coat from the hallway. The wool remembered where I sat and folded at the waist. My keys were in the bowl, my bag was on the proper shoulder. The receipt for bread and milk went in the pocket with the others. I packed an apple for the office, filled the water bottle halfway. The ordinary little actions returned in the correct order, like chairs placed back after a meeting no one knew had taken place. The mirror by the coat hooks gave me one complete reflection. Only someone dressed for Wednesday, with a bus to catch outside. Maybe fine is only movement, buttons closing, taps turned off, a face arranged for other faces, a body answering the clock. Maybe fine can be a costume without being quite a lie. I could walk, I could remember, I could look someone in the eye. That does not erase the kitchen or the bathroom before water, does not shorten the long hallway or explain to a team. It only means the morning needed less than night required, a ruder coat to drive a car and enough strength to get there. Cold water, button 4, keys phone, lock the door, plate gone, lie it off, 6:46 bus stop. Outside, the pavement carried people moving with intention. A woman pulled a child along, a man unfolded news. The bakery raised its shutter, coffee reached the crossing. Someone laughed behind the van as if the day had started clean. I stood beneath the bus sign and watched the minutes change. Nobody looked at my hands, nobody heard the bathroom fan, nobody knew the hallway had been longer than the day. The bus arrived with warm air. I tapped my car, the driver nodded. I took a seat behind the stairs. The city moved in pieces, pharmacy, school, repair shop, every place had opened without asking where I'd been. By morning, everything was fine again. Cold water, clean shirt, keys beside the door. By morning, everything was fine again, at least from where the daylight stood. By morning, everything was fine again. I answered when the whole world let me in. By morning, everything was fine again, and fine was all the morning needed. At 7:28, the office lift opened on the 9th floor. The same man from the day before held one hand against the door. He asked if I was tired. I said a little, how are you? He said the heating still was broken, and we watched the numbers. At my desk, the monitor woke blue beneath my fingers. 14 emails had arrived, the printer flashed a warning. I put the apple by the keyboard, set the water near the mouse. The notice for pale crescents still fading from my palm. I closed my hand around them, not to hide them from the office. Saw me feel that they were there before the day could file them down. Then I opened the first message and began to type. By 8:03, the room had filled with ordinary voices. Someone dropped a teaspoon, someone complained about the train. I answered one small question, moved one deadline to next Friday. Took a sip of water and forgot the glass again. Back at home, the hallway held the shape of what had happened. The bathroom towel had dried, the plate was clean beside the sink. Everything was fine by morning. If fine means nothing, stop me. If fine means I could leave the flat and make the lift on time. By morning, everything was fine again. The sentence fit the daylight, so I let it stand.